Hoki mai anō. US President Joe Biden and China's leader Xi Jinping have held a 3-hour meeting aimed at quelling fears of a so-called new Cold War. The pair met face-to-face on the sidelines of the G20 summit in Bali.
Jacinda Ardern, who's in Vietnam on a trade tour, has celebrated the meeting. From Hanoi, political reporter Amelia Wade has more.
The most powerful people in the world, face to face after all that time, all that tension, and yet smiles.
We share a responsibility, in my view, to show that China and the United States can manage our differences.
The world expects that China and the United States will properly handle the relationship.
The leaders talked for 3 hours. With a more dangerous world, a trade war over microchips, and each showing its might in Southeast Asia and the Pacific, there was a lot to discuss.
I absolutely believe there need not be a new Cold War. We were candid and clear with one another across the board. And I do not think there's any imminent attempt on the part of China to invade Taiwan.
That face-to-face engagement with two incredibly important leaders in our region is critical.
Meanwhile, Jacinda Ardern didn't have a super meeting, rather a super long day of many meetings with every level of leadership in Vietnam. Beginning with the Prime Minister and a gargantuan wreath. A parade, a handshake, a meeting, and then a chat with the man who's actually the most powerful, the head of the Communist Party. All these handshakes, all this pageantry, and all this straight-up sprinting, all because in a socialist country, it's the government which holds the keys to unlock the doors for Kiwi business.
Government has a very direct hand, and so I'm meeting with the leadership of Vietnam. We're actually enabling the growth of our trade relationship.
And at the end of the day, the fruits of the handshakes cradling a pomelo soon to be exported to New Zealand.
Amelia Wade joins us now live from Hanoi. Amelia, there's been a COVID-19 scare over there.
In a series of slightly unfortunate events, the Cambodian Prime Minister, who Jacinda Ardern met yesterday, has now tested positive for COVID. But when Newshub called her team here on the ground to check what that meant for the Prime Minister, she overheard and hollered out, "I'm feeling fine." She's also taken a negative rat test and will continue to monitor for symptoms as normal, but that all means that this trip can continue as scheduled.
Amelia Wade there in Hanoi, thank you for the update.